Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Chaz Draycott Media European Touring Car Championship here, of course, on Chaz Draycott Media with me, Chaz Draycott. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday so far and have had a really strong start to your evening. We are midweek once again and back for some more touring car fun, and what a place to be, eh? The Hockenheim ring, a circuit that's quite new to iRacing. It's not been around for too long at this stage, and not all of the drivers will have much experience here. There are a few that will have done a few league races here, maybe put the time in just for this event specifically so far, but we're going to see some interesting results tonight, I bet you that. Speaking of interesting results though, we've had 4 new race winners in the last 4 races. Michael Blake, Jack Johns. We also had John Bailiff and Morgan Butler. Excuse me a second while I try and actually get the championship results to come up. Apologies for this. There you go. Maciej Sakovic leading the championship by quite the comfortable margin at the moment. He is 53 points clear of Jack Johns, who has just leaped ahead of his teammate Stephen King after taking his first win last season. Stephen King is the highest placed driver out of anybody that has not taken a win. Donny Henriksen slips down to 4th. Michael Blake is up to 5th. Ben Bennyworth 6th. John Bailiff 7th. Morgan Butler sits in 8th place at the moment. It's very, very close between all of those guys. In the teams championship, Team Mood Springs are currently 110 points clear of Bladespeed Esports, obviously being helped by Maciej Sakovic. His huge score there. Abruzzi Raceway are 3rd with quite the comfortable margin over 5 a day racing. But now it's time to get things going here at Hockenheim. Practice is not on for much longer. We only have a minute or so. Tim Cox asking if that's the first time I've struggled to get it up. Wow. Strong. Will not confirm or deny. This is Mark Woodhouse that we're looking at right now. Currently 6th in practice. Jack Johns is at the very top of the pile. Now, obviously, elephant in the room for anybody that watched the Nurburgring rounds last time out. There was a moment where the stream froze for a few minutes, and we missed a moment between Mark Woodhouse, Carl Jacquelet and Maciej Sakovic. Unfortunately, Carl running a little bit wide out of turn 1, went to the inside. Mark Woodhouse was already there with his nose down the inside, and the contact broke Carl's front left suspension. There was no penalty or anything given, but there was a penalty given in the case of Mikey Doble against Ben Bennyworth. I didn't notice it at the time, but Ben Bennyworth dropped a lot of positions towards the end of the race, unfortunately. And the results had already been given out at that point. Admittedly, it was me being a terrible organiser. I've spoken to Mikey about it. He's been banned from qualifying for this round and will start the first race of the night from the pit lane. Because basically the rule is that if there's unavoidable contact or contact that ruins somebody's race, takes them out the points, then that person will be given a penalty that does so. Now, the points were already updated and already sorted out before the footage was brought to my attention. So Mikey has been given a a pit lane start for this. YPOC in the chat, good to see you. Welcome along to the Chaz Draycott Media Touring Car Championship. European Touring Car Championship. Let's get it right, Chaz. Here's Jack Johns, currently fastest at the moment for Team Mood Springs. As I've said, they are walking away with the team's championship at the moment. Him and his teammate Stephen King, who's just in front of him there, currently 2nd and 3rd in the championship. I think that might be Zach Gould just in front of Stephen there. Number 26 for Dragonfly competition. Currently 11th at the moment. Now, I've literally just bought Hockenheim. I bought it about, I'd say, within the last hour. So this is my first time experiencing the cameras and everything here. That's quite a very tasty shot, isn't it? Michael Blake, by the way, just going through shot there. In the Simmortal machine. Currently 5th fastest at the moment, nearly half a second off. There's a bit of a spread then back to Woodhouse and then Dempsey. Interesting to note, though, no Maciej Sakovic this evening. Now, I said in the last race meeting that Maciej has that many points that he could miss a race meeting. And if Jack Johns actually scores maximum points tonight, which is 55, then Maciek will still only be 2 points behind him in the championship. But, no offence to Jack, I don't think he's going to get 55, because you get 5 for qualifying fastest, and then 25 for each race win. I'm not sure he's going to get there. Daniele Giudici joins us again tonight from Pramac Racing, the Italian, in car 44. Currently 19th in the championship on 40 points. Only a few points, though, behind Craig Schill and Adam Wright, who are tied. There is Craig in the cross-development car. I've not seen his teammate Craig Cameron for a while, part of Craig's squadron, as we dubbed them. Cameron was fantastic all that time ago at Brands Hatch. Good to have Adam Wright back with us as well. We've had a number of drivers drop out midway through the season and a number of spots be taken up by other drivers. Some of them indefinite dropouts, others sort of taking them as they come. Adam hasn't competed in every single round this season, but he's certainly been one of the most exciting drivers to watch. He's not scared of getting his elbows out a little bit and having a bit of contact, so keep an eye out for him. Kieran Dempsey back with us again this evening, which is good. Kieran's very, very quick indeed. He wasn't at the Nurburgring, unfortunately, but he basically won pre-season testing. He qualified on pole position and then drove away from everybody in the 5-a-day racing car at Alton Park. Not an easy track to get right either. Let's see, Tim Cox is parked near the end of the lap. Not quite sure why. Daniele Giudici is just coming around the final couple of corners and into the pits. I think that was Mark Woodhouse following. No, it wasn't. It was Adam Wright. Who's near the end of a lap now? Mikey Doble giving it big sideways moments. Let's go on board with Mikey as he goes through the final corner. It's a nice wide straight here at the Hockenheim ring. Of course, it is a Grand Prix spec circuit. A Grade 1 circuit, if you will. There's a little kink down towards turn 1 that the drivers need to get the car settled over. It's a scary turn 1. I'm not quite sure where the track limits lie there, unfortunately. Not in iRacing, anyway. Quite a fast straight, hard onto the brakes into turn 2. Got to get the car tucked in nicely here to get a strong run out down to the Parabolica, because the car will understeer like mad on the throttle there, and we're going to see a lot of that tonight. That's why you need to tuck it in on the right hand side. Open up the corner, because as soon as you have to come off the gas around there, it's going to affect your run down towards the hairpin. Over 235, even hitting 240 kilometers an hour after losing pace early on. Very tough hairpin to get right. So much lock there. Lots of patience on the throttle as well. Now into the first of what seems to be 2 duplicate stadium sections, really. You've got a fast right-hander going into a slow left. Again, difficult to get right because you're turning the car right while you're slowing it down and then having to get it turned over to the left. Plenty of wheel spin on the throttle. Nearly 375 brake horsepower, these Kia Optima GTS machines. And then into what is the old stadium section now. Still a legendary bit of track. This bowl-like hairpin, there's a lot of camber there, then it levels out on the exit so the grip disappears from you. Over the crest through the chicane, we're going to see the revs getting spiked through there. And then a very difficult pair of final corners, especially in a front-wheel drive car. As you can see, it's a lap that requires a lot of patience around here at Hockenheim. And Mikey Doble crosses the line with a 151.0. There's only just over 2 minutes to go in this session now. We just need to wait now and see what is what. Now, Mats Borg Andersen has been a very, very excellent addition to this championship. Car 17 for Darrington Francis, currently 14th in the championship. And he only joined us at Zolder. I believe that was rounds 5 and 6. No, not even that. Mats Borg Andersen joined us for rounds 7 and 8 onwards. We're now here for rounds 13 and 14. He has never qualified lower than second. He put it on pole for his very first session with us. Not forgetting, of course, that when you qualify on pole, you get reversed to 12th on the grid. but you get 5 points for qualifying fastest, and he got those points on his first attempt. He currently splits the 2 Team Mood Springs cars ahead of Donny Henriksen and then Michael Blake. But the very interesting news is no Maciej Sakovic. Not quite sure why Maciej's not here or where he is, but it's certainly opening the door in the championship. Love that hairpin. It's such a difficult bit of circuit to get right. A number of the drivers you'll see dotted around the track practicing their starts. Starts are becoming more and more important to these guys every single race meeting we have. Because there's a few drivers such as Donnie Henriksen, Michael Blake, Ben Kriener, who we've not seen for a while, all absolutely legendary off the line. Some of them properly launch it off the line. Others just struggle with the fact it's a front-wheel drive car, unfortunately. But there's a few of them all practicing it at the moment. I think that was Mark Woodhouse that's practicing. It is. Let's see how he goes. You can hear the wheel spin. It's crazy. But that's the session over, unfortunately, Mark. Well, we'll leave him to it, shall we? But there you go. End of session. There's the humongous oil bottle. Gotta love it, haven't you? Right then, who's going to be first out? I think it might be Donnie Henriksen. No, it's Stephen King who leads the train out of the pit lane to start the qualifying session then for round 13 of the championship. As mentioned, if you qualify fastest, there is a reverse grid, basically, for the first race of the night. Top 12 get reversed, but as an incentive, the top 5, in terms of the times, get points. 5 points, 4 points, 3, 2 and 1. And it is that way due to the fact that if you finish the race in 12th, which is where you're reversed to on the grid, you will get 5 points. So Stephen King leads them then down through the hairpin. He's got Donny Henriksen right behind him. Mikey Doble obviously not going out in the session, so he will be starting from back in the pit lane. Love that Mirror Sport car. I know I painted it, so I'm slightly biased, but I really do love that livery. It came out very well indeed. Donny Henriksen's been doing it proud as well. He has a win to his name this season. He won the feature race at Zandvoort in fantastic fashion as it went dark. Managed to hold off Maciej Sakovic after a fantastic fight in the last couple of laps. No Morgan Butler with us today, unfortunately. He doesn't have a wheel to race with at the moment, but he's sorting himself out with a new wheel and rig and so on, so he'll be back with us. But his teammate Ben Bennyworth is back to give it another shot this week after a bit of a challenging time at the Nurburgring. We also have John Roberts still with us in the championship. Big drifteroo for John, right on cue. Always the showman. But John for DNA Motorsport has been repping this since day one. So, Stephen King starts his first qualifying lap, chucking it through turn 1. I love how unorthodox these cars are, but they really do fly. Hard onto the brakes into turn 2 he goes. Onto the complex at the back of the circuit now. Foot hard down, he'll be putting his foot through the bulkhead. Mats Borg Anderson clips the Astro, has a bit of a slide on the grass maybe. I think he just dipped the right rear wheel off the line there. Look how far out to the right hand side Donny Henriksen went there. Really opening up the corner. Hard onto the brakes, waiting for the front wheels to do all of the work. It's going to be interesting in the feature race to see how they look after the tyres, to be honest. Because it's almost half an hour, the feature race. First race of the night is going to be 8 laps. Feature race is going to be 15. I know you're probably wondering why is it not just double, but with the pit stop in there as well, it lengthens the race. So on some circuits, it's based on distance. 35 kilometres for the first race, 70 kilometres for the feature. So with the pit stop included, it's rounded down to the previous lap, Well, to the nearest lap, I should say. So if it's 0.4 of a kilometre, then it's just rounded down and we do a little bit less. Anyway, Stephen King around the final corner. He's going to put the first time on the board in this session unless he gets an incident point for running wide. They're all using all the AstroTurf out there, which leads me to believe you're allowed to. And it's a 147.5 Stephen King. Michael Blake a 147.8. Goes second fastest. Mark Woodhouse goes third. Giudice up to fourth. Got another train of them here with Zach Gould coming across the line as well. Jacqueline goes fourth. Bennyworth goes fifth. They're in the 48s at the moment. Roberts 49.3. A lot of these just getting banker laps in at the moment. Mats Borg Anderson's lap clearly didn't count, but he's getting some tasty slipstream from Donnie Henriksen right now. Hard into the brakes once again. You can see the cars just squirming around there. Oh, Mats has had to compromise his line. Is that going to level out with the amount of slipstream that he's had from Donnie Henriksen? Is he going to have to go for a move here on Donny? Because Donny seems to be on a quick one as well. 2 wheels over the curb. Tell you what, a 15-minute session will go quickly round here where it's nearly 2 minutes a lap. Mats is right with him. Now, let's not forget, even if you get what's called a 0x, no incident point. Even if it flashes up, that still invalidates your lap, and Mats Borg Anderson has backed off. That's Michael Blake going past. Currently second fastest, on his way to 4 points, but there's 5 cars that are out there that haven't set times yet. So still plenty to be done. Michael Blake goes round, round, round. Final couple of corners so difficult here at Hockenheim. Oh, he's pushed the limit a bit there. Goes for the line. Does he improve? He does not. A 147.9 does not put him on pole. Kieran Dempsey goes up to 6th place. And his work there is done. Mats Borg Anderson, a 155.7 after being held up there. Oh, John Roberts is off the circuit. What on earth has happened here? Whoa, that's a big moment for John. He's lucky not to hit anything. But he continues. He's a fighter, is John. He'll always push on. Zach Gould, unfortunately, hasn't put a time in yet. Zach, bless him, was missed the round at Spa-Francorchamps because nobody reminded him that the race was on. He signed up to the series, got the seat at Dragonfly competition, and then missed it, I'm afraid. Look at Ben Bennyworth's car there, really dancing around on the brakes. Wiggling about all over the place. The top 2, top 3 are on outlaps. Jack Johns has gone 3rd fastest, by the way. I missed that. Sorry, Jack. Woodhouse is 4th. But those two need a good night tonight. With Majek not being here, they need to take advantage of it. They really, really need to take advantage of it. Because Majek's been so clean in all of his performance. Or performances, I should say. He's just been bagging points after points after points all season long. Those 2 wins at the start of the championship really helped him. He won the first 2 races at Silverstone, if you didn't already know. Ben just having a bit of a blink in and out. Comes into the pits. How's Mats Borg Anderson getting on? We've not really got any green sectors coming in from anybody. No one, by the look of it, improving drastically at the moment. Let's see. Oh, this is just his outlap, so apologise. Apologies. It's one of those nights tonight. I really can't get my words out. Anyway, let's ride on board with Mats Borg Anderson on the nose of his car. We go through the very quick turn 1, clip the curb on the way in. Try not to use too much of it on the way out. And he's letting off already. Must have been an incident point for him. And that's a nightmare now. Michael Blake is right up behind him. Following along down the Parabolica. Looking back though, nobody near him. We'll go through all 4 corners, shall we? There you go. Look how fast these things go, I love it. I think the official figure for this car is 368 horsepower. 2-litre turbocharged engine, front wheel drive. Competes with the likes of GT4 cars. Michael, who we're looking at here, described it as a psychopathic canoe, because it really doesn't like handling. The setup that they use in this championship, the fixed setup, has all of the wing taken off it. It's got the skinniest wing possible on the back of the car, so there's very little in the way of downforce. Top speed of this car, somewhere near 175 miles an hour if you put the long gearing on it and take the wing off. It's crazy fast in a straight line. Nearly 10 minutes into the session then, Donnie Henriksen, the only driver that's out there that hasn't put a time in yet. He's just behind these guys. He's just struggling with certain corners on the track, getting incident points here and there, I think. Let's see, does Michael Blake improve? He does, it's just 66 thousandths off. Donny Henriksen goes 5th, puts himself in place for a championship point. Jack Johns is coming to the line though, qualified fastest in 3 out of 6 race meetings this season. He's not going to do it there by the look of it. Yeah, Jack Johns has been fastest for the last 2 race meetings in a row and was fastest at Silverstone. So he's not just trying to make it 4, but he's trying to make it 3 in a row as well. Jacquelet standing strong at the moment in 6th position. For 5-a-day racing, he was just knocked out of that point scoring spot by Donny Henriksen. His teammate Kieran Dempsey is currently sat in the pits. He's actually just come back out of the pits now as I say that. There is Kieran. Not many drivers too close to finishing a lap right now. Next across the line will be Michael Blake. The rest of the circuit quite empty at the moment. There you go. I say the rest of the circuit, I mean just that final sector, as Michael has gone straight on. That's Borg Anderson goes through. He just needs to get a banker lap in here because 155.7 is not good enough, although he's done a purple sector too, as Mats Borg Anderson. What can he show us here? Bit of a lock up on the way into the 2 final corners. A little bit wide over the curb, not sure if that's going to count. Smooths it out on the exit, and across the line he goes. Place your bets quickly. Top of the pile for Mats Borg Anderson, 147.4. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Very well done indeed. Woodhouse goes to 4th. Suddenly Jack Johns finds himself in 5th place. He crosses the line just behind Donny Henriksen. Does Jack improve? No, he doesn't. Who's going to be next? Tim Cox is going to cross the line. Ben Bennyworth goes up to 7th. Tim Cox is currently on to be reversed to pole position. But Mats Borg Anderson, what a brilliant lap that is. Derrington Francis have a car on pole position again. Mats Borg Anderson qualified fastest, then second, and then second. Is he going to go fastest again? Like I said before, he's never qualified lower than second in this championship. John Roberts goes 12th, displacing Tim Cox. That'll put him right to the front of the field. Jack Johns is on his way out, but he needs to get a move on here. I don't think he's going to make it now. Once the session hits 15 minutes, the drivers don't get a chance to finish their laps. That is it. So in about 12 seconds, they need to have started their final laps. I'd say anybody crossing the line now is done. So it's going to be the final lap for Michael Blake. And he's crawling around the end of the lap as well, so it's not going to be an improvement from him. This is Mark Woodhouse and Zach Gould It's going to be their final laps. What can they do around the final corners? Michael Blake trying to stay out of the way. Oh, if anything, he's got in the way of Zach Gould there. Oh, that wasn't very good. Michael suddenly sped up as if he's going to be able to get a lap in. He's not. He's not going to be able to. Who else is on to complete one now? Then let's have a look. Tim Cox is going to be next across the line in car 7. So Michael Blake won't be any higher than 3rd. Tim Cox all over the AstroTurf there. Not sure if that's going to have helped him. Car looked a little bit out of shape at first there, but he's managed to get it hooked up mid-corner. Powers it out the final corner, all the Astro on the inside. Very, well, none of it on the outside. Across the line goes Tim. Does he get back into the top 12? And he improves, but it's not a top 12 time. What can Stephen King do? Can he displace Mats Borg Anderson at the top? He's had some slipstream from Craig Schill. Across the line goes Stephen King. Giudice just misses out on 12. King just misses out as well. Craig Schill goes 6th, though. That's a brilliant, brilliant bit of qualifying for Craig Schill. And that is going to be it. Nobody else on to complete a time. So Mats Borg Anderson, for the 2nd time this season, takes pole position. He still has not qualified any lower than 2nd. Since he's joined us. That's fantastic. Wow. So the calm before the storm. John Roberts reversed onto pole position. Adam Wright 2nd. Watch out for Adam. He's going to be quick here. Kieran Dempsey and Carl Jacquelet make it a 5-day racing row 2 ahead of Ben Bennyworth and Donny Henriksen, car 66 P6. Craig Schill is 7th with Jack Johns in 8th. He's going to get 1 championship point for that. Mark Woodhouse will get 2. Michael Blake gets another 3. Stephen King, car 11 P11, gets 4 points. And Mats Borg Anderson gets all 5 for that. He'll be really, really chuffed there. Then we've got Daniele Giudice alongside Tim Cox. And Zach Gould and Mikey Doble round out today's 16-car field. Again, it's a bit of a shame not to have the full complement of cars that signed up. We had 30 cars sign up to this season, but either way, we all know that real life gets in the way. Well, not gets in the way. Real life comes first, let's say. And the sim is not everybody's highest priority. John Roberts then started on the front row of the grid. You've got to love the sound of these cars as well. Sort of slight turbo whistle there on idle, just as it has the anti-lag system ready to go. He's got Adam Wright alongside him, making his return to the championship. He's not scared of contact, is Adam. Mikey Doble's going to start from the pit lane, so we're just going to wait for Mikey to line up. And we've got Kieran Dempsey alongside Carl Jacquelet. So this should be about a 15-minute race. And it's going to be 8 laps of the Hockenheim Ring Grand Prix circuit. And then, as mentioned, the feature race, 15 laps with a pit stop where drivers have to take 2 tyres. The revs rise once again here then. And round 13 of the CDM ETCC is away. Plenty of wheel spin off the line. Look at Kieran Dempsey. He is absolutely bolted out of the blocks there, and he goes straight into the lead before turn 1. Let's keep our eye out for any shenanigans behind. Big lunge down there by Tim Cox. Smacks into the side of Michael Blake. Mats Borg Anderson's looking down the inside of Jack Johns. The two of them rubbing panels as they go down towards turn 2. Michael Blake defending again from Tim Cox in the background. Oh, nearly contact between the two Team Mood Springs cars, but look at that man at the front. Kieran Dempsey. What a great getaway that was. Mark Woodhouse into 3rd place. But John Roberts right up behind him now. Adam Wright, actually, that is in 3rd place, sorry. Mark Woodhouse is up 2 places into 7th. John Roberts looks to the inside then, into the hairpin for the first time. Ben Bennyworth takes a very inside line. Jack Johns absolutely sending it on Mats Borg Anderson. Stephen King there, oh, just getting shoveled out wide. Don't think he knew that Jack was on the inside there, and he loses out big time. But it's change at the front, side by side through the right-hander. Kieran Dempsey's in a complete another region of Germany. Into the left-hander again. Big slide from John Roberts. Big curb hop. Oh, we've got cars around behind. Mark Woodhouse is backwards. Craig Schill is backwards. Oh, Mark Woodhouse is in the sky. Something tells me... Oh, boop. Something tells me that somebody didn't do very well in avoiding that. We'll have to go back and have a look. Looks like Donnie Henriksen might have a bit of damage. He's going a bit slowly there. He's off the circuit as well. Big group of cars. Who's that off? Oh, Mark Woodhouse is off, but someone else is off. Is it Mikey Doble? No, someone else went off there. There was definitely a bang. I think Zach Gould maybe with damage. But John Roberts is back in the lead of this race. Previous Pro-Am champion in the very popular BSR TC leads this great top 5 with Ben Bennyworth at the tail of it. Let's pick apart what happened here then. Craig Schill involved in the dramas. Oh my goodness me. Jack Johns and Donnie Henriksen to blame there, and Zach Gould smacks Mark Woodhouse into oblivion. But Jack Johns, not sure whether he got a push from Mats Borg Anderson. I mean, Craig himself, by the look of it, turned into Donnie Henriksen, but I think Donnie was a bit late on the brakes himself, and then it's just really unfortunate for Mark that it chucks the car in the air, but it'll have to get looked at. Adam Wright goes for the lead now down the inside of John Roberts, who turns into Kieran Dempsey, but he's actually alongside Adam Wright on the exit. Bennyworth and Jackalette having a scrap as well. This for the lead. Trailing on the brakes through there. Hard onto the brakes again. Adam Wright trying not to hit that big curb. That's the second time we've seen John Roberts drift it around there. Oh, and Adam cuts across the front of him and says thank you very much indeed. Mats Borg Anderson dancing around all over the curbs behind them there. But that was a very lively opening lap or so. That will have to get analysed in great detail before penalties are given out there, but someone was certainly at fault for a number of racers losing out big time. But again, we've got a humongous train of cars here. It's all actually the top 10. And then there's 1.7 seconds back. Look at this from Michael Blake's point of view. That is from 1st to 10th. All coming streaming towards us. 2 5-a-day racing cars in the top 10. Sorry, even top 5. With Dempsey 3rd, Jackalette 4th, Bennyworth 5th. That's where they all started on the grid as well. Bennyworth looks down the inside, just putting a bit of pressure on there. And we've got Jack Johns, Mats Borg Anderson and Stephen King, the three of them making this sandwich that we've seen all season. The mood springs being the bread, Mats Borg Anderson being the very exciting filling. As Kieran Dempsey tries to overtake John Roberts, looks like he's going to get it done as well. These cars really do look like they float like shopping trolleys down there, don't they? Looks like Kieran's a bit later on the brakes, but John's got the inside line. Jack John's going in very hot indeed. Michael Blake having to get out of something there as well. Mats Borg Anderson moving over, saying hello, sunshine. Oh, it's getting all very feisty between those guys there. This could end in tears. Jack looks to the inside, tries to go later on the brakes. He's done it again. Down the inside of Bennyworth. Oh, no, Ben won't be a fan of that. Oh, Donnie Henriksen won't be a fan of that. I don't think Mats knew he was there. Turns over to the left-hand side. Look at this send from Jack Johns. Great awareness from Ben Bennyworth to stay out of the way of it, but look at poor Donnie Henriksen here. Mats tries to get back to the racing line. Donnie gets a smack in the front right, and he's off the road. And now he's fighting with Mikey Doble, who's come through from the pit lane. He's now up into 12th position. No reverse grid for the second race, unfortunately for him, because all he'd have to do would be stay there. That's close dicing between the two of them, though. Really good dicing between the two. Look how close they are through there. That's fantastic stuff. And somehow Donnie Henriksen holds on. That's great. Now, John Roberts is back in front of Kieran Dempsey and up into second place again. Adam Wright off into the distance. Bennyworth and Anderson side by side. Mats Borg Anderson down the inside. Nice stuff. Once again, we've got the 2 5-a-day racing cars and the 2 Team Mood Springs cars and the DNA Motorsport machine, all of the white cars together inside the top 10. Now, who's going to make the move here? Ben Bennyworth looking down the inside of Anderson, but nothing there. Michael Blake just observing at the moment. As, oh dear, Tim Cox has gone way, way off the track. Has to come back on. Gets a better run out of there than Donnie Henriksen did by the look of it. Oh, as there's a big shove. That's Kieran Dempsey into the side of John Roberts. Not sure John will appreciate that. And Jack Collette there seemingly making contact with Jack Johns. Oh, not quite sure what caused that. John's down the inside of Jack Collette. There's contact. And then Mats Borg Anderson trying to get involved in this as well, down the inside of Stephen King. 2 by 2, they go through the hairpin. And it's the 2 Team Mood Springs cars on the outside. Jack Collette bouncing and bobbling around all over the curbs. Jack onto the apex, just squeezing each other through the penultimate corner, and somehow Johns is ahead. Mats Borg Anderson's still there, just pops up out of nowhere. Suddenly gaining the place. Jack Collette goes backwards here, but not for lack of trying. More great racing from all of these guys, though. Giving it everything they've got at every single corner. And look at that behind. Michael Blake down the inside of Ben Bennyworth. That's where Mats Borg Anderson got past him a lap ago. And Michael completes the move. Adam Wright, though, he's loving this at the moment. Way out in front. I say way out in front. It's 1.5 seconds, but seems like a huge gap when you compare it to the guys behind. Mats Borg Anderson jumping up and down the timing a little bit there. You'll see him reappear, hopefully. There he is. And at the very background, Tim Cox and Mikey Doble side by side. Mikey's car, I think, damaged there. It looks like he's taken a hit on the front right. Tim Cox goes in a bit too hot again. And Mikey gets the place, but Tim gets the run. Need to look here because Stephen King's now got past Carl Jacquelette. Oh, and sideways again, John Roberts for second place. I think Dempsey's hit him. Let's have a look. No, he's not. He's just hit it on the grass on his own. I just saw that Dempsey was a lot slower through there, but Jack Johns took the advantage and got past him. Still kicking off, though. Jack Johns now down the inside of Roberts. Oh, not again. Jack's really sent it up the inside of one too many people so far tonight. John Roberts gives it him back, though. Says, not in your life, get out there. Let's just hope it doesn't end in tears. Ah, boys, come on. Come on. Well, Jack gets what he was given, but John may be overreacting a bit there. It's very clear from the body language what he wanted to do. Stephen King up to second place in all of that. John Roberts still holding in on inside the top 4. John's again late on the brakes, though. Hits another car on the way into a corner. He may have the pace, but this is getting a bit out of hand now with Jack Johns, I'm afraid. I may be broadcaster, but don't forget I'm series admin and only steward. Now, this has become the battle for second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. Oh, Michael Blake and Stephen King. I have no idea what happened to Michael Blake there, other than he's either broken his brake pedal or he's just completely mucked that up by concentrating on what was going around him. I've got no idea. The car just didn't look like it wanted to slow down, did it? That's a real shame, that is, for Michael. Now, don't forget, after the race, or after both races, the incident points get looked at. There's no incident limit in the race that disqualifies them on the spot, but the incident points are looked at afterwards. If you get 20 in the sprint race, which is this race, you get disqualified. If you get 25 in the feature race, you get disqualified. I think. I should know this really, shouldn't I, to be honest? You get a 5-second penalty post-race if you get 20 or 25. For every 5 incidents you go over that, you get an extra 10 seconds. And then you get the race reviewed at the risk of being banned from qualifying for the next one if it was very silly. And I'm going to be intrigued to see what Jack John's incident points look like by the end of the evening. Now the inside of Jackalette. That was much cleaner though from Jack. A little bit of a curb hop though. But I tell you what, for a man that's just returned to the series, Adam Wright is looking good at the moment up front, isn't he? Jackalette still putting Jack under pressure. Oh, Ben Bennyworth a little bit too late on the brakes there. I think he's tried to copy what Jack's been doing. It didn't work for him, I'm afraid. Kieran Dempsey trying to hold off John Roberts, who, to be fair, despite the argy-bargy before, has done a great job at staying in a podium position. Now, if him and Dempsey can just fight cleanly for this final lap and stay away from Jack Johns and Carl Jackalette, I think they're going to be in for some very strong points here. Dempsey needs them because he was so promising after pre-season testing, but his season just didn't get going. Since then, he's scored a good few points, but his total, even at this point, is only 70. Don't forget Magic Sakovic is on 226. Either way, white flags in the air, final lap for Adam Wright, doing a great job out front at the moment. And don't forget, this also sets the grid for the feature race. So Adam will start from pole position if he keeps it up. Daniele Giudici has risen up the field well, by the way. Up to 7th place. 6 places gained. Mikey Doble has gained 7 places up to 9th. He's going strong with his consistent pace. Down towards the hairpin once more. Is John going to try anything? I think he'll be happy to hold on to a podium spot at this point. Here's Giudici and Henriksen. Oh, Donny tries to get a cutback, but absolutely butchers the chicane. Hairpin. These are the closest 2 cars on track at the moment. Fighting so hard indeed. But Giudici just holding him off. Donny's not pushing too hard at this moment in time. Oh, speaking of pushing hard though, Dempsey all over that curb in the background, but here is your race leader, Adam Wright. And he's done it all right so far. We've got a couple of corners to go, and we're going to have our 9th race winner in 13 races in the Chaz Draycott Media European Touring Car Championship. Started 2nd on the grid. Performed very well indeed. And now, Adam Wright is a race winner. Put your hands together, everybody. Round 13 goes the way of EMKA Racing and Adam Wright. Kieran Dempsey's going to hold on to 2nd. John Roberts gets a podium. Jack Johns is going to finish 4th, but how long is he going to stay up there? Because, well, we know that was going to be looked at all day long. Daniele Giudici 7th, Henriksen 8th, Mikey Doble finishes 9th, and Tim Cox rounds out your 10. Well, that was hard fought all the way through. And that I also do not approve of. But still, what a fantastic result for Adam Wright. That's really strong stuff from Adam. Well done. Jack flashing his lights at Adam there to say well done. Right then, this is the part of the evening where we'll just wait for the results coming, because Mark Woodhouse is actually still to cross the line. And there you go. Right then, let's get those results up, shall we? Just to make sure that you know the exact outcome of that one. Adam Wright takes the win, 3.5 seconds clear of Kieran Dempsey and John Roberts. Jack Johns finishes 4th, but the race will be looked at for him. Carl Jackalette 5th ahead of Ben Benioff. Daniele Giudici, Donny Henriksen, Mikey Doble gets into the top 10 ahead of Tim Cox. Craig Shirley's 11th, Zach Gould 12th. Mark Woodhouse a minute and a half down, unfortunately. Stephen King and Michael Blake out after that massive incident. And Mats Borg Anderson also out of the race. 2 laps down at the end. Well, it's time for warm-up, and I don't think the drivers will be going out just yet, but they'll be with you in a few minutes. I'll be back with you in just about 5. Bear with me, and I'll see you in a few. Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott here of Chaz Draycott Media for the Chaz Draycott Media European Touring Car Championship. After a very, very lively first race, some words have been had, or some words have been typed, I should say. Hopefully, drivers will calm down slightly for the second race, but it was certainly an action-packed one, wasn't it? Now we'll have 15 laps with a mandatory pit stop where drivers have to take 2 tyres to decide the remainder of everybody's fates this evening. We currently have Craig Schill, the only car out on track. But Craig's good at this. He always provides some good entertainment, that's for sure, during the break here. So I thank Schill for that. Sorry about this. Just sorting out some of the points and ting in the background. Probably not the most professional way of saying it, to be honest, but there you go. We only have 2 minutes of this session left to go. Craig Schill just the man filling the time at the moment, to be honest. Diogo Melro, you absolute star. Hey Diogo, hope you're well, mate. It's good to see you, man. It's been a very, very long time. Now we have a car joining Craig Schill on track. Actually, we've got a number of cars out there. Michael Blake's back out there. Maybe looking at his brake pedal after what happened in the first race. He did share a screenshot from afterwards, just before the accident happened, where he did stamp on the brakes and nothing happened. Jack John's just saying about his surprise that the cars fly so high after making contact, and yes, they did. And Mr. Werrell is back with us. He disappeared on me yesterday, lad. I don't know where you went. It feels like it's been 3 weeks. Hope you're having a good night, mate. I hope you've seen the first race. It was action-packed, I think is probably the safest way of saying it. Very action-packed indeed. Lots of sends, lots of moves. But at the end of the day, we have another new winner in the Chaz Draycott Media European Touring Car Championship. I'm glad you enjoyed that, Diogo. We had a lot of fun. 4 wide into the Shell Oils hairpin at Alton Park. Yeah. For anyone that doesn't know, on my Facebook, we posted some pictures where some friends and I did a track walk at sunset for the BTCC. And we basically sat on the floor and pretended to be driving around the circuit, and we went 4 wide into the Shell Oils hairpin. It was very entertaining. Anyway, while Barney dusts off that flag, let's give you the grid for the second race then. Basically, the race 1 result. Adam Wright on pole position from Kieran Dempsey, John Robertson, Jack Johns, red corner and blue corner. Carl Jacquelet right behind him. Ben Bennyworth in 6th, Daniele Giudici in 7th. Following him is Donnie Henriksen ahead of Mikey Doble and Tim Cox, and it's Craig Schill alongside Zach Gould. Mark Woodhouse, Stephen King, Michael Blake and Mats Borg Anderson will be making their way through from the back of the field. They're certainly ones to keep an eye on. 16 car field for the second and final race of the night. 15 laps here. Plenty of tours here when that's nearly 2 minutes a lap. The first lap should be just under 2 minutes. The rest will be around the 147s to the 150s. Probably about the 148s to 51s on race pace. We just wait for Stephen King to return from space after that hit with Michael Blake. Hopefully Michael has sorted his brake pedal out, or whatever the issue was that caused the humongous accident. Stephen King starting from the pits then, by the look of it. So round 14 of the championship is underway. And Kieran Dempsey again with a great launch off the line. He did that in race 1 from 3rd on the grid and took the lead by turn 1. John Roberts has sorted his start out as well and gets down the inside of Adam Wright. Look at Donnie Henriksen going 3 wide with Bennyworth. And who was that around the outside? Jack Alette was in there. Oh no, Mats Borg Andersen's off and he's in the wall. Not sure who else was involved in that, but it's a nightmare evening for Mats Borg Andersen after qualifying so well. He put it on pole position for the 2nd time this season and he's only done 4 race meetings with us. Stephen King's on his way out of the pit lane now. A long way down, but he's at least in some clear air. And this is the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. John Roberts and Adam Wright very close together. Adam making him go the long way around. Jack Johns is just in a different postcode. Into the hairpin they go then, all wiggling around. Mikey Doble right in the middle of this here. He's gained 2 places already up to 7th. Started in the pit lane for race 1, let's not forget. Everybody shuffling around, just trying to find some space. Side by side here, Michael Blake and Tim Cox. Through the quick right they go. Adam Wright and John Roberts swapping places. Dempsey doing his usual and getting on 2 wheels over the curb. Oh, it's such a scary right-hander there where the cars all filter back onto the racing line. But what on God's earth happened to Mats Borg Andersen? Oh, he got touched by Mark Woodhouse. Oh, just had 1 touch, ran a little bit wide and got completely hooked. I said hooked with a H. But Kieran Dempsey leads the race. He hasn't won a race yet this season as Kieran, but he won pre-season testing race, like I said. Looked to be a season favourite by the time we'd only done 1 race. Bit of a split in the field. Then Daniele Giudici's got Donnie Henriksen and Michael Blake behind. Mandatory pit stop. 2 tyres must be taken. Look at Donnie Henriksen through there. Whoa, he needs to be careful of that. He needs to back out of it. Come on, Donnie. Stay with the Donnie. Stay with the Donnie. Now Michael Blake's down the inside, and then Mark Woodhouse is trying to defend from Tim Cox. Or is he trying to overtake Tim Cox? You never know. It's one way then the other with these pair. Further up, Mikey Doble is side by side with Ben Bennyworth and gets the move done. Doble now up into 6th. Michael Blake actually started 15th and he's up to 10th. He's having a really good run so far, Michael. Great start. And that's Jack Johns down the inside of Roberts. Very close together. They're testing the waters here after their contact in race 1. Oh, there's more contact further back. I think that was Mark Woodhouse having a nightmare. More trail breaking through there. Jack Johns gets it done. John goes a little bit later on the brakes. Jack knows that he doesn't mean it. And oh, suddenly there's contact behind. We saw that in race 1. As the cars move from one side of the circuit to the other, naturally, there is always contact, and Donny Henriksen piles into the back of Carl Jack Alette. Michael Blake has to take avoiding action. Carl won't be pleased with that one. Just have a look at it again from on board with Carl. So John Roberts over the curb. Carl's getting over to the left. John tries to do the same. Doesn't know he's there. You'll get a really late call from your spotter on that one. I can tell you that for free. Because the track is on a curve at that point, it will not give you an early call. Craig Schill having a bit of a moment there over the curbs around the final corner. Kieran Dempsey nearly a second to the good up front. Adam Wright following him, Jack Johns in 3rd, so 3 very, very quick drivers at the top. Then it's the 2 DNA Motorsport cars, John Roberts and his teammate Mikey Doble. Mikey racing in the Ginetta GT5 Challenge this year that supports the British GT Championship, and racing in the, I believe it's the Nankang tyres, sorry, is it the Kumo tyres? The BMW Compact Cup, either way. He's done a couple of seasons in that now. Him and his dad racing as teammates. The DNA car from the front actually looks quite similar to the design on his Jetta, and he really not making life easy for his teammate John Roberts there, but he goes down the inside, gets the position made. Mark Woodhouse trying to get past Carl Jacquelet. These two have raced together for a long time. Nope. Mark now trying to make his way through. Sneaks down the inside, lovely stuff. Mikey Doble's gone wide. Ben Bennyworth's gone past John Roberts as well now. You've got to think that Mikey maybe held John up slightly with that move at the hairpin. And in the long run, it hasn't helped him. We've got the two Dragonfly competition cars together on track, almost. Zach Gould ahead of Tim Cox. Big dent in the left-hand side of Tim Cox's car. Not quite sure what's caused that. Look at the way these cars just sort of fling themselves into that hairpin. It looks brilliant. But here's your race leader then, Kieran Dempsey. Not got it all his own way at the moment. Adam Wright and Jack Johns not really going away at this stage. There's a very, very potent top three, as mentioned. The noise these things make just sounds fantastic, doesn't it? Stephen King, by the way, he is currently 13 seconds behind Craig Schill ahead of him, but he's done the fastest lap of the race, a 1:47.9. Fastest lap anyone else has done is a 1:48.1. So Stephen King going very quickly indeed. He'll be looking to just make up a bit of time with all of that clear air, because he's hoping that some of the guys at the front are going to be battling. This is Giudici behind Donnie Henriksen. The two Dragonfly competition cars swapping around behind. Tim Cox on the inside of Zach Gould, but Mark Woodhouse is there. Oh, I don't know where Tim was going there. He piled the lock on. Absolutely piled the lock on. Look at that. And then he just doesn't get off it quickly enough. And then, yeah, well, where's Mark Menner go? Unfortunately, that did backfire on Tim quite severely. But what's the damage like on Woodhouse's car? He's got to get past the other Dragonfly competition car now. He says, watch this then, Chaz, I'll do it. Around the outside he goes, but that damage won't be helping him one bit. There's a change for the lead. Kieran Dempsey's off. Kieran's off the circuit. I don't know whether he got any assistance, but he's lost the race lead. Has he bottled it? Oh, it looks like he's going to as well. Carl Jacquelet and Mark Woodhouse off the track. They came together at the Nurburgring. Let's see what happens here. Oh, Carl's just driven into him. Mark got caught up on Zach Gould's car, but still have to avoid him. You can see the cars just sort of get stuck together, and I don't think Carl expected the contact to be that severe, in fairness. Big, big hit. And Carl is on his way into the pits. Mark Woodhouse is continuing. No, he's also coming into the pits. But his teammate at the other side of things, leading the race. Max Borg Anderson in the chat. So gutted for you, mate. So gutted for you. What a terrible evening. Look at that by Jack Johns, really sendy down the inside. We saw that in race 1. That's a much cleaner approach. And has he got the run? He has. He's beaten him out of the corner, but now can Adam Wright turn it around? He's got a good run himself. Trail brakes on the way in. Washing out wide. Two of them careful not to make contact. Kieran Dempsey's got the best seat in the house here. What do you reckon we go on board with him and have a look? Mikey Doble's not far off the back of this either, and Mikey Doble and Jack Johns had some titanic fights at the Nurburgring 2 weeks ago. But this is brilliant from Adam Wright. Great to see him so competitive. He's down the inside of Jack. Needs to be careful he doesn't hit him. Kieran needs to be careful he doesn't run wide through there again. All this time, by the way, the gap to Mikey Doble behind is getting smaller. It was 9/10 of a second, now it's half a second. Mikey's going to be right there. There he is. And it's not like there's not another car behind him. Everybody just following on at the moment. They're killing these tyres though, man. They're going to have to be so careful later on. We're a third of the way through the race. Drivers can pit any time from now. There's moments like that there where Jack Johns sort of thinks about going defensive and Adam Wright compromises his line trying to have a go. These are the moments that will help Kieran Dempsey. Both drivers in front have won a race. Mikey Doble behind, Kieran hasn't. Look at that, great racing between those pair in front of us though. Now they just need to not move over on each other on this straight. I know it's not quite a straight, but they need to watch it. Because here comes Kieran Dempsey. Oh, he's lifting off even. Where's Mikey Doble in all this? Mikey's going to go down the inside of Kieran. He's going to try and at least take third place. And he does. Oh, Kieran loses out in the long run. Oh, and Mikey just slots in front of him. Nicely done. What about Adam Wright now? Trying to attack Jack Johns. This is edge of your seat stuff. It could all just end in tears so quickly. Ben Bennyworth on the back of this as well now. It's become a top 5 battle. How long till John Roberts gets involved as well? And he could bring with him Donny Henriksen, Daniele Giudici and Michael Blake. Michael, biggest mover in the field at the moment, tied with Mikey Doble. 6 places gained each. I hope the stream looked a little bit better, by the way, this week. Randomly, my internet service provider has upped my bitrate for the uploads. I'm not sure why or how, but yeah, only the upload side of things seems to have gone back to how it was. It's the download speed that was the issue, it seems, so that'll do. Anyway, we've got this great trio at the front. Jack Johns won last time out at the Nurburgring. Is he going to try and do it again? We're nearly halfway through this race now. On to lap 7. Also completed this lap and done another half a lap. And we're at the halfway point. Michael Blake is in the pits. He's going to be coming in for his scheduled stop. Stephen King goes past him up into 12th place, but that'll be Michael getting into the pits as soon as possible so he doesn't get stuck in any fights and slowed down in the long run. He tried that at the Nürburgring, but then got done for speeding in the pit lane. See what he can do this time out. Now Adam Wright has got Mikey Doble down the inside of him. Oh, there's contact between Dempsey and Bennyworth. Oh, a bit of moving around there from Mikey. I think he was just wiggling the wheel just to see how close Adam was, and he's very close indeed. Almost rubbing panels again as they go through the right-hander. Hard into the left. Mikey's going to try and get a cutback on him. Doesn't quite work how he wanted it to. Gets on the brakes. He's avoiding contact at this point, is Mikey. It's good stuff. It's all fair racing. They're making sure they don't hit each other. Well, Mikey's making sure he doesn't hit Adam. Oh, Adam's got a bit hot there, hasn't he? He's gone way too hot. He hits the brakes halfway around the corner. Doble goes through. What can Dempsey do about it? But is Doble through completely? No, he's not. Adam still puts his nose back down the inside. This is all helping Jack Johns now. Jack will be loving this. Craig Shill's off the track further down, by the way. Having a big old moment. Adam Wright dancing around. Doble sticks his nose down the inside again. Still nothing. Now Jack Johns is pitting from the lead. Ben Bennyworth pitting from 5th place. Those two are thinking, right, now is the time to do it. Get in clear air. Let these guys fight. If I was Jack, I would have waited a bit longer, you know. While they were fighting, just stay in your rhythm so you can see the gap getting bigger. Now he's taking the risk. So out of those that have pitted, Stephen King, obviously, it says he's pitted because he started in the pits, so he's going to have to make a stop before the race is done. Mikey Doble trying all sorts of cutback manoeuvres here on Adam Wright. He's pulling out all of his real-world racing experience here to make this stick. Don't forget, he started in the pit lane in race 1. He didn't qualify. He got a penalty last week, so he didn't get to set a time in qualifying. And now he is absolutely on it. Down the inside of Adam Wright he goes, gets a nice run. Or does he get a nice run out the corner? It doesn't look like it. He stayed nice and tight, though. He made sure he gave Adam the room. Now, Ben Bennyworth, by the way, has come out ahead of Jack Johns. 7 seconds quicker in the pits. Doble goes to the front. And Wright now has to defend from Kieran Dempsey, who's got John Roberts right behind him. John Roberts through as well. But Ben Bennyworth, I have to bring this to your attention, is the highest placed driver out of those that have pitted, followed by Michael Blake, who is ahead of Jack Johns. Bennyworth with a 27-second pit stop, Blake 31, and Johns 34. Now it does say Stephen King is ahead of these guys, but it's a long way ahead, so he's clearly not done his pit stop. That's just because he started from the pits, so he does need to complete another one. We've got 2 DNA Motorsport cars in the top 4, and everybody piling into the pits while John Roberts stays out. Donnie Henriksen didn't seem sure there. You could hear the radio going in. So Roberts now goes into the lead. Daniele Giudici's going to follow him into second place. Sounded like there was contact in the pits maybe there. People banging into each other as they slow down for the pit speed limit. Zach Gould continues and inherits third position. His teammate Tim Cox is going to gain some spots as well. And that's Stephen King with him. Michael Blake, by the way, has passed Ben Bennyworth. Michael Blake has got ahead. Ben Bennyworth, by the look of it, having a slow run out of the right-hander there. And now Michael inherits what could theoretically be the race lead. As down the inside, Jack Johns now goes past Ben as well. Now Jack and Michael both won at the Nurburgring last time out. They know just how important it is to get this. Here's Donny Henriksen coming out of the pits. He's out ahead of Adam Wright, Michael Blake and Kieran Dempsey and everyone. Donny Henriksen with a 24.6 second stop. That's amazing. Takes the lead of this race theoretically. Adam Wright out ahead of Michael Blake. Jack Johns, Kieran Dempsey side by side with Ben Bennyworth. That's really shaken the order up. But Donny Henriksen, he did this at Zandvoort and he won the race. Wow. Donny Henriksen, go on lad. Michael Blake trying to get past Adam Wright now. It's worked for Blake as well. He's done the undercut here on some of these guys. Gets the car stopped on the apex. Adam Wright can't do anything about that. He's actually, never mind Adam Wright not doing anything about that. He's done exactly what he needed to about that. He got a really good run. Smoothly does it out of the hairpin. Through the right, doesn't run too wide. Jack Johns is ready to pounce. It's not going to work this time down though. Oh, Adam's got a bit deep. There's a tiny touch from Michael Blake. Oh, Michael loses out and Jack Johns goes around both of them. Oh, but no. Squeezes the apex a little bit too much. Adam Wright is there. Adam loses some ground now. Now Michael Blake's trying to come back at him. He's got his nose down the inside. Says thank you. Nearly a touch, I think there was. Just on the exit. I think Michael maybe not too pleased about the contact a few corners before. Look at that, hanging it around the outside of the hairpin. But that unleashes Jack Johns to go after Donny Henriksen. Good avoidance there by Adam Wright. Everybody else in front of them pitting now, so this will sort it all out before the run to the end. 5 laps to go. Look at this, good space being given by Michael Blake there. Sticks to the inside. Donny Henriksen goes through. Where is everybody else? John Roberts coming back out. Is he going to be ahead of Jack Johns? He is. John Roberts plays it well. Now obviously these guys all got held up by this battling. Adam Wright, Jack Johns and Michael Blake. There's still an overlap there, boys. Oh my goodness me. Where's Stephen King in all this? He's actually 12th. Unfortunately, he's not been able to make the ground he wanted to by starting from the pits. Now Kieran Dempsey has got past Adam Wright, but Donny Henriksen leads this race. John Roberts in second as well, having a fantastic run tonight. Oh, Adam's got down the inside of the pair of them there at the hairpin. That's beautiful, but he's not going to get the run on the exit. Oh, it's such a pig of a corner, that hairpin. Now it's Dempsey on the outside, but that's going to become the inside if he's brave enough. No. Or is it? No, he is still down the inside. He just needs to make sure he tucks it in. More of that curb. Adam Wright's going to hold that. But there's your race leader for Mirage Sport. Donny Henriksen, but guess what? Behind him. Yep. In the red corner. Oh, these two had a big scrap in the previous race. Jack Johns sent it up the inside, made a bit of contact. Just like that. Similar move to that. And then John gave him just desserts and tried to just run him out a little bit wide, but the two cars got hooked together. Front right to left rear. Oh, that's a lovely move by Jack Johns in fairness. Switches it one way, then the other. Stays down the inside. All the way around the final corner, gets a bit of a bump on the curb. He's leaving John just about a car's width on the left-hand side. Now what are they going to do for turn one? Who's going to give this up? Neither of them. That's the answer. No, nice stuff by Jack Johns up into second place. Kieran Dempsey and Adam Wright glued to each other through turn 1 this time. Jack Johns feeling the need to go defensive ahead as well. He knows that John's going to want vengeance. Michael Blake, by the way, after starting at the back of the grid for this one, is up to 4th place. He's gained 11 spots in this race. What a drive. I'll show you the gains and losses on the left-hand side. Look at that, 11 spots for Michael Blake. That's fantastic, fantastic running. 4 laps to go, including this one. Now, Donnie Henriksen, a race winner in this championship already, as I've said, at Zandvoort. Jack Johns is going to go running after him now. The gap from Jack to Donnie is 3 seconds. And even with the battling going on, last time round, Jack Johns did a 148 point... Oh no, sorry, he did a 148.8. Donny Henriksen did his personal best time last time round, a 148.2. Stephen King has had an issue. Something has happened there to Stephen King, I'm afraid. And he is out of the race. That's a real shame. You get points all the way down to 16th place so long as you finish. Kieran Dempsey is off the road. And Kieran Dempsey is out of the pits. What on earth happened there? Kieran Dempsey, who was right near the front of the order, I think that looks like a CPU issue to me. He was saying earlier on this evening that he was having some sort of issues and the car was not staying connected to the server. That's a massive shame for Kieran Dempsey. It gives more points to Mark Woodhouse, who's just driving around with Tim Cox and Zach Gould near the back of the field. This is Mikey Doble down the inside of Ben Pennyworth. Ben's had a very tough season, I must admit. He's tried everything so far this season, has Ben, but it's not quite worked for him. The gap at the front, by the way, now 3.5 seconds from Donny Henriksen to Jack Johns. I think Jack may be pushing a little bit too hard. He did a 149.2 last time round, 0.3 slower than Henriksen. Maybe because he's got John Roberts still on his tail. John's driven this car for a long time. He knows what he's doing with it. But Donny Henriksen still extending that lead, you know. 3.6 seconds now, the gap. Donny is one of the quickest drivers in the series. Coming into this round, he was 4th in the championship. He's the nearest challenger to the 2 Team Mood Springs cars. His team, Mirage Sport, 5th in the championship with 135 points. His teammate, Rob Lundgren, not here this evening, in car 88. John Roberts is not leaving. Nope. Not leaving Jack Johns alone here. He's still trying to fight for this position, and Jack's having to work hard. I'm wondering whether Jack's overdone it on his tyres early on. We've seen him do it in previous races before, but look at the run that John can get on the power. John backs out of it. He knows he needs a good run out of turn 1. Jack's killed his tyres, hasn't he? Jack has absolutely killed his tyres, and John has got the advantage. There's a couple of laps to go after this. John's just playing it safe, though, which is good. So close together through turn 2. Place your bets, everybody. How's this one going to go? Michael Blake just behind these guys has got Mikey Doble and Adam Wright closing in on him. Daniele Giudici's gone off. He's run very wide out of turn 3, but he's back on, safe and sound. But this is the battle you want to see. 2 of them pushing so hard indeed. There'll be a sort of mutual respect now that they'll want to give each other space after the first race, because they won't want their races looking at. They won't want any issues, but at the same time, they'll both want to get one over on each other after the slight falling out that there was in the sprint race. Mikey Doble down the inside of Michael Blake. Oh, he's running out of road there. Oh, Michael. Doble keeps his foot in it. Oh, he's broken the suspension, look. He's still wrestling it, though. He's still wrestling it, is Mikey Doble. Oh, he needs to be careful not to lose the rear end. Now Adam Wright's having a go at Michael Blake, but that was... Let's have a look. So Mikey's going to come up the inside. There is a rub. No, to be fair, Michael just runs a bit wide, doesn't he? It did look a lot more intentional, let's just say the word, from the external view, but he was just trying to pile it on and go through that corner as quickly as possible. Mikey Doble's still wrestling that car, though. You can see the amount of steering lock he's putting on to keep that thing in a straight line. That's a real good display of control, that. The wheel's pointing a different direction to where the car's going, though. Michael Blake's off the circuit again. Not sure what Adam had to do with that. Oh, I think Michael just putting the power on again. Just the tyres are going. I said they would. I said they would really have to look after their tyres later on in the race. Michael's down the inside, though. Says, I don't care how bad the tyres are. The brakes aren't bad. Watch this. Oh, gets it tucked in. This is still going on just in front. John Roberts has clearly looked after his tyres better. Jack Johns having a nightmare with his tyres. John's around the outside. That's going to be the inside for the next two corners. But he just, the car as he rotates it there, it just doesn't have the speed off the corner. Into the next right-hander. What are they going to do? Is John going to back out of it? No, he's not. He's still there. Down the inside. So close to contact, but still good. Respect this time. This is a prime example, though, of the great racing you can have. You know, these two may have had a bit of red mist after the first race, but this is brilliant racing between these guys. So close together. White flag is in the air just ahead for Donnie Henriksen, who's going to cross the line and start the final lap of the race. And then Jack Johns is going to work his hardest to hold off the incredibly quick John Roberts this evening. It's been a real turn of pace for John. Love seeing it. He's just glued to the back of him now. He's going to try and get a good run out of here, surely. Not sure if it's going to be enough. You need quite the slingshot in these cars, and he's not very far back. Jack Johns already over to the right-hand side of the circuit to defend. That is a good enough slingshot, if you ask me, though. This is one of John's only chances now. He's going to be on Jack's left. He's going to be on the outside, though. He's going to make sure he gets a good run, and he squeezes Jack to the inside line by doing that, but no. It's not enough. I think John's got the run off the corner, though. He certainly has. He's going to have the inside for this right-hander again, but that's going to be the outside for the left. Jack slows the car down enough. Oh, that was so close to contact. Jack hangs on. Still hanging on by a shoestring. John's on the inside again, though. And has he got the run this time? I think he might have done. This has been amazing racing so far. I hope they managed to both make it to the end cleanly, because this is epic to watch. Jack Johns and John Roberts, two lads that may have fallen out after the first race, will be absolutely loving this racing that they're having now. 2 corners to go after this. Well, you could say 4 if you're going to get technical. Jack's just slithered in front, but into the final couple of corners, well, you might not have tipped him at the start of the race, everybody, but put your hands together for Donnie Henriksen. His second win of the season, takes round 14 of the championship. Beautiful drive by the Dane. And Jack Johns just holds on to second at a time when he needs to do it in the championship. John Roberts, a brilliant pair of podiums this evening. Well done to John. Adam Wright 4th, Michael Blake 5th, ahead of Ben Bennyworth. Daniele Giudici is going to finish in 7th. Craig Schill is going to be in 8th position. Well done to Craig, some good points for him. Mikey Doble wrestles what's left of that car across the line in 9th. And Zach Gould rounds out your 10. Tim Cox finishes 11th, ahead of Mark Woodhouse. And Kieran Dempsey does finish the race. He will be classified for that one. But Donnie Henriksen, wow. What a brilliant performance that was. Out of nowhere, a really quick pit stop. Wasn't even the quickest pit stop of the race, actually. John Roberts got the quickest stop. But Donnie Henriksen takes your win. Jack Johns with a great defensive drive. And another awesome race in this championship. That was a hell of a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed that one. So, Dane Donnie Henriksen takes his second win of the season. Jack Johns finishes second, just ahead of John Roberts. You know what? They had an absolutely amazing battle. I loved watching that. Loved watching that. Adam Wright finishes in fourth. Michael Blake in fifth, with Ben Bennyworth sixth ahead of Daniele Giudici seventh. Craig Schill eighth. Mikey Doble ninth. And Zach Gould in 10th. Tim Cox just outside the top 10 in 11th. Mark Woodhouse finishes 12th. And Kieran Dempsey does finish the race one lap down. Stephen King, Carl Jackalette and Mats Borg Anderson were not classified. So we're going to hopefully get some drivers in for an interview or two when we can. But Donnie Henriksen started 8th on the grid for that one, which just shows you can start from anywhere on the grid and have a really good race of it. Let's have a look at what his start was like, because his starts were great at the Nurburgring. Oh, he keeps his nose down the inside. It's brave. Slows it down. He doesn't actually gain the places in all. There's Mats Borg Anderson going for a holiday, I'm afraid. At the back. That was very, very tough for Mats Borg Anderson. Not the evening that he would have wanted at all. Well, I'll tell you what, actually, someone who I really, really want to speak to is Donnie Henriksen, who we haven't spoken to you in a while, Donnie, to be fair, mate, but last time we spoke to you, I imagine you were pretty beaming after taking your first win. Now, it's your second win of the season. You must be over the moon, mate. I can't hear you if you're there, Donnie, unfortunately. If you can hear me, buddy, we'll grab you again in a second. We'll chuck Donnie back in for a moment and bring in the man that's probably one of the sweatiest people in the UK right now, is Jack Johns. Mate, you had to work hard for that second bit there, didn't you?
Oh, mate, that was a very stressful time. I don't know what happened. About three laps to the end, my tyres just like hit a cliff, and I couldn't keep it on the track. I was braking earlier and earlier, and then because I pulled away from John initially, and then he just closed right back up on one braking zone in a hairpin, and then he was just there. And fair play to him in the second race. It was really, really difficult to keep him behind. Yeah, it was good.
It looked like a good fun battle as well. You know, I was sort of raving about the fact that, yeah, you may have both had a bit of red mist with each other in the first race, but you put that aside and you had one of the best battles we've seen all season in that second one. You know, giving each other room, a little bit of a tap here and there, but really, really good, close, proper touring car racing, that wasn't it?
Oh yeah, the second race was so much better. I think, yeah, you're right. Obviously, red mist can ascend in racing situations and stuff. We've seen it in previous rounds. We see it in all racing, even in real racing. But it's, I don't know. He was, yeah. There was. I'm sure my memory's all a haze, but I'm sure there was one point where we were side by side for like the whole second half of the lap, and it was scary stuff at that point.
Well, it was still a very exciting one to see, and of course, plenty of points for you coming your way. And on an evening where Maciej Sakovic wasn't with us, it was all important for the championship. Really, it's quite the turnaround point, I think. Yeah,
it was. I mean, it was a shame not to see Maciej. He's definitely always up there. Didn't expect it, to be honest. It wasn't sort of. Once we started, I realised, oh, this could be quite important. But I think we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, about sort of round one. I'm aware it was across, not just me, but across the board there was some punts and stuff, but I think overall it was a good round. Germany's treated me well both times.
You can say that again, mate. It's been very interesting to watch, and like I say, good points for you. It's really turned your championship around. Now, next time out, we go into Italy and go to probably what's one of my most anticipated rounds of the season, Monza Junior, which is the tiny little overly thing. 15
what a track.
15 lap sprint race, 29 lap feature. What do you make of that?
How many laps did you say?
29 lap feature.
It's going to be an interesting one, that, because it's like you said, it's basically an oval, but with a really sort of kind of tight, twisty bit at the front. So you'd assume that the tyres would last, but at the same time, I imagine 3 or 4 laps around Parabolica and you've scrubbed them, and these cars are going to be a handful. Very slipstreamy. The turn 1's going to be pretty dangerous. Heavy braking zone at the end of a straight, but
yeah,
I mean, we've all been racing each other a little while now, and I'm sure we can do it.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone knows how to jump out of your way. But I think either way, mate, you still brought the entertainment tonight and some great pace, and I'm glad it's helped your championship out. But before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out
to? Shout out to John Roberts. Definitely kept me on my toes today. Shame not to see Matt. I'm not sure what happened to Matt's in the first race. Shame not to see him. And again, thank you to you, Chaz, of course, for running it. I know it's a stressful time running events like this with drivers and the like. And shout out to my mum again, who's probably watching again.
Mummy Johns, love it.
Mummy Johns.
Right, mate. Thank you very much for joining me, buddy. Well done, and have yourself a good evening. I'll see you soon.
Cheers, Chaz.
Cheers. Jack Johns there, winner at a race last week at the Nurburgring for the first time this season, and now right up there in the championship. Donny, do we have you back, mate? Are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Here he is, Donnie Henriksen, then the winner of that feature race. Did you expect to win that one, mate, starting 8th on the grid?
Not at all. I actually had a pretty good start, but I was on the inside and I got a time penalty, and I have a thing with time penalties apparently because I got 4 of them at Nurburgring.
Oh, flipping heck.
I got a time penalty and I think I got down to 11, but I somehow made all that time back.
Yeah, I was going to say the pit stop worked wonders. It wasn't even the quickest stop of the day either. John Roberts had a 23-second pit stop, and yours was sort of mid-24s, I think. But when you came out and everybody was behind you, I mean, what was your first feeling? Did you think, what have I done wrong? Or was it just like, oh, right, that worked?
I thought it was a bit strange. I underfueled slightly. I think John also underfueled. And I was expecting everyone to underfuel, but apparently that wasn't the case.
Well, it certainly worked in your favour, buddy, and you had a good few battles in there as well. You know, it wasn't like you just sort of drove around on your own all night. You still had to work for it. What did you make of this car track combination? I imagine the Kia was a bit of a pig round here.
That's the case with every track, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's nothing new, is it? Really, that the Kia is a bit of a pig.
Well, we have to drive it like a drift car, right? You have to throw it into the corner, then get it straight, and then you can hit the throttle. And if you don't do that exact sequence in that order, you just throw it into the sand.
Yeah.
Or the wall, whichever's first.
Well, yeah, it's certainly an unorthodox driving style in this car, but it's interesting to watch everybody learn it and get to grips with it. You've certainly done well in doing that. Now, that's going to have helped your championship as well. With Majek not here tonight as well, and you and Jack at least getting a good handle on the championship to catch up with Majek, do you think that you'll potentially have a top 3 this season, maybe even top 2?
I think I can go for top 3. I think Jack will pick up the fight now and see if he can take Magic's first place, and I think there's a good chance he can actually do that. If he doesn't get any DNFs from now on. But I don't think I can challenge for the win. I'll go for top 3. I think I need to beat Steven and Michael, right? I should be fairly far ahead of Michael at the moment, but Steven is right behind me, I think.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm going for, top 3.
Well, it's very close to seeing you guys, but at the same time, it's sort of the spread between all of you is quite consistent. So we'll see, mate. But well done again tonight on that win. It's great to see you get that one. And before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a quick thank you to?
Thank you to my internet for waiting until what was that? A minute and a half after the race until I disconnected. That was 90 seconds.
Well,
I had 2 disconnects at Spa, and then I almost had another disconnect today. That would have been awful.
Indeed, yeah. Well, good. But
a real shout out to the team I drive for, new-to-iRacing.dk. I just joined them recently, but they deserve a shout out. Great team.
Brilliant stuff. Nice to see you getting in a good team as well, mate. Very well done again, and we'll see you in a few weeks' time, mate. Cheers.
Definitely. Cheers.
Thanks. Donny Henriksen there, absolute star, and really good to see him get that second win. And a man that's been through the roller coaster of emotions tonight, I think probably needs to lie down after that one. John Roberts. John, that was the meeting that had everything. It was a bit red mist induced with Jack in the first race, but what a battle in the second race.
Yeah, mate. I seemed reasonably quick tonight. I don't know where that came from.
Well, it was certainly a joy to see it, mate. 2 podiums out of that and loads of championship points to go with it. That's a real good points injection for the season, isn't it?
Hopefully, yeah. I'm not sure. I think I was only on about sort of 17 or something before tonight started, so I probably doubled it, I'd have thought, at least.
I'll have a quick look now. 34 you had before this evening started. So you would have got... We'll do this live on air. I'm really bad at maths. So was it third in both races?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. So you got 36 points tonight. So there you go. You've
Nice.
more than doubled your points tally for this evening. So that'll take you into about the 70 points mark. And before tonight, that was about 10th, 11th, and 12th in the championship. So we'll see where you end up there. But that was, I just asked Donny then what he made of the car track combination and said the Kia was probably a bit of a pig round here, but take the words round here off the end of that sentence and the Kia is just a pig, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I've driven it lots and I love it to bits, but it is an absolute pig. It just loves power understeer for breakfast.
It does, yeah.
I did a TCR race with George and the Apex Academy guys a couple of months ago here in the Audi, which probably helped a bit tonight, I suspect. So shout out to them for that one.
Yeah, that's a good point actually, because when you can drive front-wheel drive cars at a circuit like this, the more you do it, the more you learn where it's more beneficial to come off the power, but sometimes it's actually worth staying on it, isn't it, and letting the car scrub out wide just to keep the momentum. It's a bit of a strange beast to tame.
Yeah, it is, and this track's got a wide variety of corners from that horribly tight hairpin to I'm not sure which turn it is, 3 or 4, which is like the sort of long fast left, but in this it just scrubs the tyres if you keep your foot in.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one, like I say, just take some patience, but you certainly had that tonight, mate, and again, great to see you and Jack battling so respectfully in that second race. Even after the red mist of race 1, I was very, very pleased with that, but it was...
Yeah, I did get slightly assertive with him in that one. But yeah, that was pretty clean in race 2. I enjoyed that one. I think his size must have gone off a bit, and I took a bit of a flyer on the pit stop strategy and just put lefts on, which gave me a few seconds.
It was just lefts,
I was expecting the car not to be... Yeah, so I was expecting the sort of right front to give me some issues, but it didn't actually. It was all right.
I was going to say, you certainly had the pace on him. I think Jack might have just taken fronts and just overworked them, or taken all fours, because he just didn't seem to have it. Like he said to me in the interview a moment ago, the tyres just went off near the end, and then that was it. So it certainly helped you out, mate. It was a good strategy. Anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to before you go?
Boosted boys as always, and yeah, George Simmons and the Apex Racing Academy guys for the 12 hours at Hockenheim a couple of months ago. So thanks for the prep.
Cracking stuff. Great to see you doing well again, John. Nice to speak to you, mate. We'll see you soon.
See you later, mate.
Cheers. Well, there you go then. Donny Henriksen, Jack Johns, and John Roberts. 3 wonderful chaps and some very, very quick sim racing drivers. But Donny Henriksen takes his 2nd win of the season. Adam Wright becomes the 9th race winner out of 14 races. You heard me earlier, we'll be at Monza Junior in 2 weeks' time for a 15-lap sprint race and a 29-lap feature. If you've never seen Monza Junior before, go and look it up. It's going to be an absolute blast. But for now, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I've been Chaz Draycott. This has been the Chaz Draycott Media European Touring Car Championship, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Have a good evening.